Hello and welcome to my channel. It's the Network Specialist. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so that you know each and every time I upload a video. Everything I will discuss in this video is alleged and in my very own opinion, used for entertainment purposes only. Today I will be doing a recap of King's Court Season 1, Episode 7, Are You Kidding Me? And that title for episode 7 is a play on words for R. Kelly, but we'll get into that a little bit more later. And let me just say some hellos. Hey, Mama Bees, thank you so much for being here. Hey, Sharon Godbolt, thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much for coming back. Love to see you here. So, guys, let me just go ahead and get into it after I remove this. So, um, Daddy has told Kalia that he wants to see more of her, but I wish I could see less of Kalia and her shiny forehead. You know how everybody's always saying that Shamia's daughter, Shiloh, I believe that's the one, you know, how her head is always so shiny. That's how I feel about Kalia. Like, girl, wipe off some of the grease. But, anyways, the more I see Kalia, this lady is starting to look unhinged. You know, she gave off this elegant, classy persona in the beginning, but as time go on, she's really starting to look unhinged. So he tried to sit her down and have a conversation with her after she was, at the last elimination dinner because she was very pissed off about that. It was almost as if she thought she was too good to be at the elimination dinner. Okay. So she really felt some kind of way about that. But like I said before, guys, these guys have a strategy. When they are feeling a particular lady in the house, but the lady isn't stepping up, these guys will invite them to the elimination dinner just to keep them on their toes so that they can step up their game. So I don't believe he ever had any intentions on eliminating Kalia, but he wanted to let hump her, and take her off of her high horse, thinking that she's better than everybody. And I don't know if that's because she's a doctor, because Ariel is also a doctor. But anyway, so that's where they were at. She was pissed. They sat down for a conversation and she wanted to let him know how she really felt, how she was pissed. So he stood there very quietly. He did not interrupt her one time. He let her speak. He let her get all of that out. So when she stopped speaking, he tried to pick up where she left off to explain his side of the story, but she jumped right back in. And basically, she wouldn't allow him to speak. He couldn't get a word in. And let me tell you something about Thaddeus. And I've said this before, like, Thaddeus would be the one that I would go after if I was on this type of show. He's my type. But Thaddeus don't play the radio, okay? Like, that is getting these women straight. Do you hear me? Like, he is putting them in their place. Like, he ain't even trying to play with these women. So I don't care how special you think you are, you can get it from Thaddeus, okay? So after she wouldn't allow him to speak and she kept cutting him off, Thaddeus said, you know what? We're just going to cut the conversation short and we'll try again another day. And she was shocked because she thought that this was her time. This was her time to let him know how she really feels. And she thought that was going to humble him, and she was going to be able to get back some of the humiliation she felt by being at that elimination dinner. But Thaddeus was not having it. So she felt like she felt crushed. Like, he just abandoned her, whatever the case may be. So like I said, that classy lady persona that she had, it went out the window. So the next day, they had the family and friends to come over to meet the king. So it was for me, and Mama B says, please hit the like button, please, and thank you. She says, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share the live to keep the channel in the algorithm. Thank you. So for me, when the ladies' friends and family came over, there's nothing really special like that really stood out for me. The only thing that stood out for me was the fact that Janae's best friend kept mentioning how she was played by every single man that she had been with, you know, and, she just wanted her to find the right guy, whatever the case may be. So in my mind, I was thinking to myself, okay, so she's one of them types. And, that's the type that Carlos is probably looking for, a woman who will not give him any pushback because we already know that he's an alleged cheater in his past. Not saying that, he couldn't change because he said that he's not that person anymore. But to be honest, a lot of men like those type of women. They don't like the women who are rah rah, alpha female women, which is what my brother calls me, alpha female women. Like they don't like those types because they don't like women who are going to give them pushback. That's why a lot of men date outside of their race because they feel like a lot of black women are alpha female and they feel like, other races of women, pretty much allow them to do whatever they want, especially if they have money or whatever, as long as they're being taken care of and they're living the soft life. They're okay with their man stepping out, or at least they think so in the beginning until they get tired, because every woman gets tired at some point, okay? So, you know, I can see him wanting that type of woman. So that is decided to put Kalia on ice temporarily because of what happened the night before. So she was definitely in her feelings and she explained that to her friend, that they had this conversation and they had a bit of an argument or whatever the case may be. But let me say this, a little annoyed with Carlos for stringing Jennifer along, knowing this entire time that he wanted to be with Janae. He wants Janae. I mean, from day one, he's pretty much made it known that he wants Janae. And I get it. The matchmaker said that she was his perfect match. But with that being said, you also knew that she was attracted to Tyson. So you decided to string her along to keep her away from Tyson. And then I don't want to get ahead of myself. Let me just read these comments. Mama B says, I like him in the beginning, but can't stand him now. I would show him my arse. He cut me off like he did these women. He is afraid of strong black women. Exactly. And I know you're talking about Thaddeus because I was feeling the same way about Thaddeus. Like Thaddeus is that guy, but the more I watch him, and I haven't even talked about what's to come, but Thaddeus is definitely a control freak. So I think that he thinks that he can control these women into submission. And Sharon says, Mama Bees, I feel the same. Exactly. So my opinion of that is starting to change. But one thing I do like about him, whenever he feels like he's been too harsh or he said the wrong thing, he will come back and apologize. But let's just see how all of this plays out. But Mama Bees, I absolutely get it. What you're saying about that is, and I totally agree. So, so after the visit from the family and friends, Ida Wise had a meltdown while she was having a conversation with Catherine. And she told Catherine that Thaddeus only spent 3 minutes with her friend and Tyson didn't spend any time at all with her. And basically, what she was saying is, I get it. I know they got a lot of women, but I'm here too. And, I deserve to have some attention too. So she was basically, just getting out her frustration. So Catherine went to go and get Tyson to let him know that she needed him. So Tyson came over and basically, he gave Idolize, and I hope I'm saying her name right. I think it's Idolize. He gave her a hug and, told her, you said you weren't going to continue to be a runner. And I'm pretty sure these guys would be disappointed if you left. So he convinced Idolize to stay and not be a quitter, and so she decided to stay. And Mama B says, but his apologies are not sincere. Absolutely. It just seems like he's a bit controlling, Mama B's. I absolutely agree. And honestly, I couldn't deal with that type. He came across as, a good catch in the beginning, but as time go on, it's just like every time he gets a little pushback from these ladies, he have to put them in their place. Like he has embarrassed each one of these ladies one by one. So while the friends and families were there, Tyson asked Sarah's best friend if she ever dated a celebrity. And as soon as he asked that question, they started looking at each other really weird. You can tell that her and her best friend were very uncomfortable and they started acting weird. So then her friend, because Sarah kind of tried to lead her friend into what to say. So she said that, I'm pretty sure she'll share it with you and she'll tell you the celebrity that she dated. So that same night, late night, while they were spending some private time together, Tyson asked her again, who was and Mama B says exactly, who was the celebrity that you dated? She was just like, oh, so we're doing this now? He was like, yes, we're doing this now, or I'm going to be running. And he says, it's happening now. So she finally told Tyson, oh, hence the title of this episode, which is called Are You Kidding Me? Which is a play on words for R. Kelly. Okay, so the title of this episode is R. Period. You kidding me? So anyway, she told Tyson that it was R. Kelly, and Tyson was like, "Wait, what? Are you kidding me?" And he said that that gives him a view into who she really is, and he doesn't want any part of that. He doesn't want to be associated with that, with the whole R. Kelly thing. And she tried to pretend like she didn't know this, that, and the other. And he was just like, how could she not know? So Tyson was out. And that was to be expected, honestly, because, Sarah could have told him that from the beginning. Like, why lead this man on just to tell him that you dated R. Kelly sometime? I don't care if it was 10 years ago. Nobody wants to be associated with that, especially not a Tyson when he can get pretty much any woman he wants. Why does he want R. Kelly's leftovers? So Sarah, Brianna, and Ida Wise found themselves at the elimination dinner, and Tyson shared with the Kings, the other Kings, that R. Kelly was her ex, and they were shocked as well. So at the actual elimination dinner, it was very awkward, to say the least. So Thaddeus had a sit down with Brianna, and Brianna asked this question. And when she asked this question to Thaddeus, I knew she was gone. She asked Thaddeus if she wanted to tie him up, would he let her do it? I knew she was going to be out. Because, first of all, girl, you've been quiet as a mouse the entire time since you've been on the show. then at the very end, you want to get all rah rah, you know. So I can see why, she was at the elimination dinner. So he pretty much explained that to her. That was why she was there because, you know, she had pretty much been behind the scenes the entire time, but over the last couple of days, she started coming out of her shell. But at this point, it's a little too late. So Tyson completely ignored Sarah at the elimination dinner to the point where everybody felt uncomfortable, to the point where Holly had to step in and, ask Tyson what was going on. And then she shared with him that R. Kelly was Sarah's ex, about 10 years ago. And Tyson also told her that he felt like he was just kicked in the balls by a mule. And to be honest, I didn't even think that Tyson was feeling Sarah that way. He made it seem like he was so into Felisha, but low key, he was really into Sarah. But he wanted the audience and the viewers to think that he was into this black woman when in all actuality, he was in love with Sarah or falling for Sarah. Hey, Cece, thank you so much for being here. So, I was shocked at how Tyson was acting because, we did know that, he was feeling to Sarah to some degree, but we all thought that his main squeeze was Felisha. Felisha was claiming him. Felisha was letting everybody know that that was her man. Felisha was sitting on his lap every chance she got. I mean, she was just basically claiming him like my man, my man, my man. So I feel like that Sarah gets what she got because, again, she should have shared that with Tyson from the beginning. Like, why lead him on? The fact that you even had to keep that a secret, that lets me know that you knew that once you revealed that information, that Tyson wasn't going to be feeling you anymore. You knew that. That's why you tried to keep it a secret. But you had to know at some point it would come out and eventually you would lose him anyway. So why not just be honest in the beginning? So I don't feel any sympathy for Sarah. So obviously, Carlos felt some sympathy for her because he went over to Sarah and he tried to console her because she was almost over there in tears because Tyson was totally ignoring her. And she was the only person at that elimination dinner that, you know, she was pursuing and he was pursuing her. So Holly also attempted to console Sarah, and basically said, at the end of the day, your truth is your truth. So, you got to go on. And Cece said, dating R. Kelly, yes, honey. Miss Sarah was one of those women who dated R. Kelly, but she decided that she would keep that a secret the entire time. And I know that she would have continued to keep it a secret. But as soon as her friend got there, Tyson utilized that as an opportunity to ask her friend point blank who was the celebrity that she dated. And that's how we found out because she would have never revealed that information. He would have had to figure it out on his own. So again, Tyson was really in his feelings. So Tyson was the one, he allowed Carlos to eliminate Sarah, and Tyson eliminated Idolwise. And, he did it in a nice way. At the end of the day, she knew that there was no connection with her and any of those kings, but she didn't want to be a quitter. So she stuck in there until she was eliminated. And so Carlos stepped up to be the one to eliminate Sarah, and that is eliminated Brianna. So all of those three women that were at the elimination dinner were eliminated. So now I believe that there is only six ladies left, but in the next season, I'm not season, in the next episode, Carlos is going to do the right thing and he's going to free Jennifer, allowing her to be able to talk to Tyson. Because even though Tyson started out with all of the women, to the point where he had to make a list, Tyson's list of women is very thin at this point, and he doesn't really have that many options unless he wants to choose what's her name, the opera singer. I can't even think of her name right now, but he has her, he has Felisha, and possibly now he has Jennifer. So we'll see how all that plays out. But I've already watched the next episode, episode 8. So I will be reviewing that next. I don't really have enough time to do it while I'm at work. So I'll either do it this evening or on tomorrow so that I can get caught up and then I'll be back on track for next week. And then I'll work on Heart and Hustle Houston and get caught up on that show. And then we'll just go right into celebrity news. And, I should definitely be able to stay pretty consistent doing that. No promises. Okay. So guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you did not like the video on the way in, please like the video on your way out. And if you just happen to be catching the replay, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so that you know each and every time I upload a video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, and also drop down in the comments so that we can keep this conversation going. Thank you guys so much for watching, and bye for now. Have a blessed day, everyone.